Welcome to Real Estate Game Changers Radio, featuring real estate trendsetters and industry influencers, sharing tips and strategies to help home buyers and home sellers get the most out of their next real estate transaction. Now, here's your host, Suzanne Doyle-Ingram.
This is Suzanne Doyle-Ingram with Real Estate Game Changers Radio, and I'm so excited to have a wonderful guest on the show today. You're going to love her. Her name is Sandy Johnson, and she's from West Monroe, Louisiana. Welcome to the show, Sandy.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's great. I know you're really busy. I'm so glad you made the time to be on the show. And let's start out with, right away, I want to know what you love about your career in real estate.
I love taking a client that is open-minded about what I'm going to show them, kind of like they do on HGTV where they get to show them 3 houses and they get to pick one. Yeah, not really. We're just taking them and showing them what a house could be when they get to put their personal touches into it.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. And how long have you been working in real estate?
14 years with Coldwell Banker.
Oh, that's wonderful. 14 years. And tell me a little bit about, why did you get into real estate?
My husband is a contractor, and we were hiring realtors to sell our spec houses. Oh. And I had just gotten my master's in social work, and I thought, you know what? I could do that. I love watching HGTV, and I'm just nosy enough to see what people's houses look like. I said, you think I could do that job? And so I talked to my realtor, who I loved, and she made it look a lot easier than it really is. So I thought I could give it a shot and got my license and started. Never looked back.
Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Now, tell me about West Monroe. I'd love to know, what kind of city it is, how big it is, and, what the people are like there and what the housing is like there.
That's easy. West Monroe, we are home of the Duck Dynasty. It's a small town, but we still have some big city feel. And we have our own celebrities, Duck Dynasty.
Oh, wow.
We are probably about 250,000 large. We have 3 colleges, universities right here in town. Lots of restaurants. We like to eat well down here in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. Great. And what about the architecture and the homes? What kind of homes what's the style? Most
of ours are just your average, what we call traditional, your 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-story, because, we can't have basements here. We have lots of flooding. So basic, traditional, about 1,900 square foot. The median price is about $250.
Nice. And so, do you ever see the Duck Dynasty people walking around?
Oh, yeah. They go into all the places that we do business, grocery stores, Walmart, restaurants. So we see them quite a bit. And they are just like they are on TV. They are very real.
Yeah, they seem like very nice people.
They really are.
I don't watch the show, but I've walked into the room before when my kids were watching the show, and there's that older guy, Cy, that just cracks me right up.
Yeah, and they do have restaurants here that they have opened. A lot of it's for tourist people, but, Cy does have his iced tea.
Oh, that's so funny. I swear that thing looks, the way he behaves, I always thought that was filled with alcohol.
No, he's a sweet tea drinker. We're all sweet tea drinkers. Oh,
that's so funny. Oh, that's great. Good. Well, that's really neat. I never knew that West Monroe is where the Duck Dynasty is. That's so cool. So I want to move on to another question I have for you, because when I first met you, we were talking a lot about new construction. And, I guess I didn't really realize that some realtors specialize in new construction. And would you say that that's your specialty?
It really is. I was lucky enough also to get recently my certification in new home construction, which means I can read the blueprints and understand all the blueprints, architectural plans. So I can really help someone understand if we go into a remodel, if that wall is a supportive wall or if it can be removed, and how to reconfigure a property.
Oh, neat.
New construction is my specialty.
Okay. And so how does it differ? Say I came to you and I said, okay, I have a budget of $250,000 and or whatever it is, right? And I have 3 kids and I needed an office space and I'm looking for something that, and I'm open, how does it work? If I say, I don't know if I want new construction or if I want an older home.
Okay, well, that's where I start getting into the questions on if you're trying to find something new or if you want something larger that you may be able to get more for your money. Because, of course, new construction is just like a new car. It's a little bit more expensive because you get a lot of personal touches. Depending on your financing, if we're going to start off with the ground up, trying to find you a lot to put the house on. If you already have your lot, then we review plans, pick out the plan that best suits what you want, and then we get started with the loan. And depending on if you're going to get your own loan or if you're going to use the builder for their loan and then turn it into a mortgage at the end, you work real close with the contractor, which is my husband. So in the process, I'm working with you, and we pick out all the appliances, all the colors, all the decor, all the appliances, the fixtures. And so it really feels like you're home when you move in.
Oh, that's great. And so you help them pick all that stuff out?
I actually have a sample board of everything at at my office. So my office looks like a little mini house. And yes, we come in and then we go to the certain ones, the lighting place and the flooring place, and they get to select what they want, and we just do it together. So it's a fun process for them too. It's not overwhelming.
Yeah, that's great. And they have you to kind of hold their hand and guide them, because I'm assuming sometimes you might have people who say, I want this, a certain, like, let's say, certain fixture, and you might have to say, well, that isn't actually in your budget. Does that happen sometimes?
Oh, it does. But all you have to do is say that's extra, and then a lot of times they go, okay, well, just do what you do. We like what you put in them.
Yeah, that's great. I have friends who are building a home right now, and I think they said the cost per square foot was $200. Is that average for where you are too?
No, we're not there. We're at about $140.
Okay, I'm moving there.
Yeah. We're still not quite that price range yet.
No. Well, don't go there, because that makes it more affordable for people to be able to pay $140 a square foot.
It really does. And right now with Louisiana, we are considered a disaster area because of the floods. So there are so many government funds right now available. There's different programs for first-time buyers. Oh, yeah. So. Oh,
that's great.
Yeah, it's helping.
Good. Well, that's wonderful. And I just think it's amazing that, it's a perfect fit that you work with your husband and he does the construction and then you help with all the fixtures and everything. And, the financing or helping them find a lot, everything.
Yeah, start to finish. I tell them I'm a turnkey. Start from, I can show them the land, sell them the land, build the house, sell them the house, and everything in between. That's
wonderful. And now what if there's a certain area where, realtors always say location is the most important thing. So can you build, are there those sort of subdivisions that are already kind of being built? You just buy like a spec home, you pick like A, B, C, or D, that kind of thing?
No, and I'm glad you brought that up, because our area, we're just now starting to get that they have in other areas where they do exactly like you're talking about. But right now we're pretty much, there's no strict guidelines. We can go in subdivisions and build whatever you want. But we're getting where they have the subdivision already comes with a little supermarket or the walking trails and, the roundabouts. But right now we don't have that.
Oh, well, that'll come eventually, I guess. If that's what people want, And I'm not saying that they do.
We still have the freedom where most of ours, you still can get acreage. So, you can still have all the toys and pets and park everywhere. Yeah. But I actually have developed 3 subdivisions myself, and that is a lot of fun because I get to meet all the neighbors, and I can tell them, I can introduce them to each one and say, this is how they fit. This is a young couple with a baby, or this is a retired couple. So I really get to put them together, and the subdivisions, the last 3, have really come together as fun. It makes a neighborhood, and it's fun to go back years later and see them all interacting. And one of them had a pond, and they all took turns feeding the ducks. And it was a neat little community.
That's so great, and I can't even imagine what that must be like to have a hand in basically hand picking who's going to live there.
Yeah, and the ones that another realtor would bring the sale, I would still get to meet them because, of course, I was the seller side of it. And so I got to meet them, and so it is fun.
That's so great. So, I'm putting you on the spot here. So I would love an example of someone that you have helped.
Well, the very last client that I was talking about were the ones that they actually worked for Duck Dynasty. He was their producer, and his wife worked for, I can't remember one of them's wife's name. She is her
neat.
personal assistant, and they just had a baby, so they were looking for something a little bit bigger, but they didn't qualify for an interim construction loan, so they needed the builder to finance it. And so they found me, and we ended up getting a plan for them and picked out the lot for them and actually built the house and worked really close with her. And she was so nervous about all of her choices and how it was all going to come together. So I just kind of helped her pull it all together. And they got to move in a couple of weeks ago before Halloween. So they decorated
nice.
really cute for Halloween. And their little boy just loves it there. He gets to ride his four-wheeler in the backyard. So.
Oh, that's great. Wow, it sounds amazing. And how long did it take from start to finish?
Well, no, they got into it after we had already started on the lot. So it didn't take 4 months from start to finish for them before they were in it, yes.
Oh, my goodness. That's amazing when you think about some people spend longer than that looking for an older home.
Exactly, and that's exactly what they wanted, something that was custom, that they didn't have to worry about doing it all by themselves, but it was all new.
Yeah. Oh,
so
wow.
really have the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm. And it must make you feel so good to be able to help people like that.
It's fun. It really is a lot of fun. Those are the good stories. There are lots of bad ones, but there's still lots of good ones.
Oh, yeah. I guess there's some, in every industry, sometimes you have clients that are more challenging than others.
Well, and their criteria, their wants. A lot of people come from other areas and don't really understand our market, and they get frustrated. And that's when I wish it was like it was on TV, where I get to show them 3 houses and say, okay, make up your mind which one of the 3 do you want? Because that is so not the way it really is.
I know. But the thing is, I've spoken to so many realtors, and one thing that I hear over and over again is that, your job is to educate them on, and, just kind of be patient and understand that they don't know what they don't know, and help them understand your area.
That's exactly the key, because now you can find about just anything on the internet. There's so much information that I think that's important for the realtors to stay on top of a little bit of everything. We need to find out what's true about the loans in our area and the lenders and what's available and just what out there is true and not true. You've got some of the bigger advertising companies that are saying one thing, and I'm going, no, that's not our area. That's not quite the way we work here. So I do feel like that's what a realtor's job is to really give a client give them the information so they can make an educated decision.
Oh, perfect. Now, speaking of that, educating and helping your clients make decisions, what are your guiding principles as a businesswoman?
The golden rule, Susan. I love the golden rule.
Yeah.
I treat others as I want them to treat me. So quick responses, immediate, just trying to be available. Our schedule is supposed to be flexible around theirs. So I do work a lot of evenings and weekends so that I'm available for clients when they're off. So my husband's like, it's 9 o'clock, you're off. And I said, I'm not off. They just have a question. This is when they're available. This is after the kids have gone to bed and, they sit down and this is when they do their business. So I really try to be accommodating for my clients at their time, not just my time.
I think that's really true. I notice sometimes as realtors get like more and more successful, they have sort of more limited hours, it seems to me. And I think, of course, you're not going to be working at midnight. Maybe some cases, if someone does shift work or something, you never know. It might be odd hours, but you do have to be available because you're their person. You're going to hold their hand and help them, understand everything is going to be okay, That's
exactly the way I look at it. And I can't hold their hand and be there for them if I'm not there for them, if I'm not answering my phone and my emails and their questions.
Yes. Well, I know that I've done a little research on you, and I know you've won lots of awards and you have lots of designations. And the one that I want to know more about is what is the Honor Society Award? I think you've won that a few times in a row, haven't you?
I did. The Honor Society just starts off At certain levels, the ruby's the first level, emerald, and then your diamond means that you're like in the top 3%. And I've been fortunate. My last 4 years have all been in the diamond society. So as my husband says, that he's happy because as there's diamonds, he doesn't have to buy.
Oh, he sounds like a character. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And is that put out by your real estate board?
Yes. Yeah. Now the Honor Society, that's nationally. So that goes out to the Northeast region.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow, congratulations. Yeah. Good for you.
Thank you.
You've been busy.
I love it.
Good. Well, that's the key, right? To do what you love. Now, some of your designations. So I know you've got your ABR, your CRS, and a few other letters. So tell me more about those too.
Okay.
What they mean.
The ABR is simply that I am accredited buyer's representative. The SRS is I'm a seller representative specialist. The CRS means that I have been certified residential specialist. Okay. And then the one that I just most recently was able to acquire is the CNHS, and that is a certified new home specialist. That's why I was telling you that I can now read blueprints and know all the ins and outs of the construction. I can tell you the difference between pitches, eaves, and foundation issues. So that's the one I've just recently been able to acquire.
Oh, that's great. Wow. And I always think it means a lot when a realtor takes, you're so busy and you take the time to study these classes and invest in yourself in order to help your clients more. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I do too. I love to stay informed on it because the public doesn't really know what an ABR is, but when I can say, no, that means I've had extra training in representing a buyer and their needs. Or the new construction. I've actually it was a 40-hour. It only took me 6 months.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a major investment, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So, as you know, the show is called Real Estate Game Changers. So, if you had to answer, what makes you a real estate game changer? What would you say?
That I get to do it from the ground up, that I can take land and develop it into subdivisions. There's a lot of realtors that are not able to go from start to finish in developing a whole area.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Absolutely. I mean, I actually don't think I've talked to any realtors who have done that, so that's amazing. Really cool. So that's what makes you a real estate game changer. But I think also how you contribute to your community is very, very wonderful. So tell me about your involvement with animal protection.
Well, I also have a mini farm.
Do you?
Little Montana. Wow. I do. Everything is mini and everything is black and white. So I have the Royal Palm black and white turkeys. I have all black and white chickens. I have all black and white Nigerian dwarf goats.
Oh, wow.
I even have black and white mini pigs. The only thing that's not black and white on my farm is my horse. I could not find a black and white horse. But my dogs and my cats are all black and white and all the minis. I'm getting a new little mini schnauzer today, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yes. So I'm very big in our PAWS organization here, which is the animal control rescue organization that we have here.
Oh, that's great. And so you take in animals that need a home?
Correct. And with my master's in social work, I do lots of community service because I still have my master's in social work.
Wow.
Up. So I still do a lot of volunteering, counseling, which comes in handy when I've got clients that are either going through a divorce or something, and we both, they've got to agree on something or sell. My master's social work level comes in handy.
Yeah, I bet it does, because I understand that a lot of times with real estate, there's a lot of emotion. Either there's a death or a divorce or there's a big change that's happening. So you have to act like a counselor, don't you?
You do, but there's many times I've been sitting at that table and just hold back the tears, because you're right. It is a very emotional time, either happy or sad. time.
Yeah.
I had one lady that she cried and cried at the closing table. We all had tears in it because she had lived there and raised all 3 of her kids. And now was just, she was moving. She was getting married and moving, and it was a happy time. But on the other time, she was also very sad, and we were all just boo-hooing for her because she was so emotional signing it. She wanted to sign. She wanted to sell. It was happy, but very sad.
Yeah. Oh, I could totally see that. Wow. Well, that's amazing, and it's so good they have you. Now, the other thing I was curious about you is, what's with the Harley-Davidson Association?
That's how I started meeting people here. I moved to West Monroe, about 25 years ago, and that's how I met people. I joined the Blue Bayou, the local Harley-Davidson group, and started riding, and they're the best group of people. And you talk about doing charity work. They do so many benefit rides here, and Toys for Tots. We're real big with the Toys for Tots program here. So it
we
was
have
a wonderful organization. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. I love that. So we talked a little bit about what led you to become a real estate agent, and you mentioned you have your master's in social work. So what kind of work did you do before you became a realtor?
Well, I did sign up when I got out of school. I was in elementary ed, and then I went to become a police officer in Houston.
Really?
And then
Wow.
moved back and became a social worker. My parents were like, we send you to these school, and you choose these lowest paid professions, from an elementary school teacher to a police officer to a social worker. They're like, don't you ever want to make some money? And then I became a poor realtor. So, yeah. I just like public service positions.
Yeah. It's so sad that those are low paying jobs, isn't it? It's amazing to me.
I agree. Don't even get me started. I agree. Some of your most important positions, the ones we entrust our kids with, are the lowest paid.
It's weird to me, but I don't know. Anyways, so thank you for sharing that with me. I wonder how long were you a police officer for?
Okay, I didn't do it very long. I only did it a year, and it was it's hard. I had 2 little ones at the time and was a single mom. And
really?
They got to the age where they were really upset and had watched TV, and there was a lot of bad things going on with police officers. And my oldest one was about 10, and he started crying that I was going to work, so they couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah, I can understand that. So tell me how you're different from your competitors.
Well, as one complaint that a lot of people have about their agent is the lack of communication with them. And I try at least once a week, I touch base with all of them just to say either not much is happening or this has been going on with their listing or, their purchase, what's new on the market. Just staying in constant contact. Okay, good. That's perfect. People love that. Yeah, that's the way I want somebody to answer me. If they still don't make me call you. If there's nothing to say, call me and say there's nothing to say. Or text me. Yeah. The millennials like to text, so do a lot of texting. Yes. Okay, well, this has been a wonderful interview. Thank you so much for sharing so much about who you are and how you serve your clients and where you live. And now one of these days I'm going to have to do a tour of the entire United States because I keep meeting amazing people from different places where I want to go there. So tell my listeners, how can people contact you if they want to get a hold of you? Pretty easy with modern technology. LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, text, email. It's Sandy Johnson, Realtor. At gmail.com. At Gmail, correct. And there's no T in Johnson. It's Johnsson. Correct. Okay, and I'll put these links on the website as well. So, Sandy Johnson, Realtor, thank you so much for coming on the show today, and look forward to listening to this again and again. All right. Well, thank you, Susan. It's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful to have you. Thank you. Thank you. This has been another episode of Real Estate Game Changers Radio with your host, Suzanne Doyle-Ingram. To hear all episodes featuring our hand-picked real estate game changers, visit us online at www.realestategamechangersradio.com.